What is up, fuckers? Guess what we're doing? Stage 1, The Plains, Tazmania for the Sega Master System. Can you believe it? Now, I always heard the Master System had a Tazmania game, but I just figured it was the same game, just not done as well. Well, one thing I like about the Master System is that you'll often hear same name, but different game. Now, this game is completely different in every way, shape, or form than the Genesis version. Outside of some of the enemies you encounter, Taz himself, and some of the areas you go through, but the level design is all completely different. The gaming mechanics are completely different. And this game is nothing but a 10-stage pit death. There are 10 stages in this game and 5 boss fights. And those 10 stages are riddled with pit deaths. If you're a person who likes to take their time and carefully move ahead, you'll get through this game pretty easily. If you have the slightest tendencies of rushing and using that spin a bit more than you should, you are going to encounter death on a very frequent basis. Now myself, I tend to play a little fast and a little aggressive, so my first playthrough resulted in a lot of pit deaths really quickly. This game's fun, and I'm here to say that if you hate the Genesis version, you'll like this one a lot more. Its controllers are more normal. Now, I think the controls for the Genesis version are good, but I've adapted to those otherwise janky, strange controls. These ones are a tiny bit jank, but otherwise feel just like a normal platformer should. As we're already at the stage 1 boss now, I blasted through those 2 levels pretty quickly. I like the graphics, so let's talk about them. Now, again, there isn't too much detail. One thing the Master System is guilty of is lacking detail in its pixelation. Like, look at that tree, for example. Look at the green part of it, how it's just solid green. It looks like somebody kind of was in paint, made the shape of the top of the tree, and filled it in with just one color green, and added 0 shading whatsoever. I do hate that. However, this game does pop. Its colors are nice, its sprites are big, they are colorful, and they look very good. They're not outstanding, but they're easily a 4 out of 5. There's some nice looking graphics, nice big colorful sprites. It looks good. Again, it lacks texture and it lacks depth in the actual shading, but overall the graphics are quite nice. Definitely 4 out of 5. How's the music? Well, it's a lot better than Tazmania for the Genesis. It actually has music. Most of it's kind of tinny and gross. I do like 2 particular songs, even though one of those particular songs is actually a bit of an ear-bleeding experience. I just grew to like it when playing it. But its music is definitely on the more bad side. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Its controls are very nice. I said, little bit janky, but overall very good. Also, I want to state that the sound effect of Taz's spin sounds really terrible, especially compared to the Genesis. But its controls are 4.5 out of 5. They're very good. He's not quite as precise as you would like a platforming character to be, but overall he plays quite nice. Definitely 4.5 out of 5. Fun factor, this is a good game. This, really, again, this one took me by surprise. It's not outstanding. It can definitely irritate a lot of gamers because of its insane amount of pit deaths. And if you haven't memorized the levels enough, you're going to overshoot some jumps, undershoot, underjump some jumps. You're going to spin in some wrong places, resulting in a lot of annoying and cheap deaths. But if, like I said, you're a person who is comfortable inching your way along, especially a first playthrough, you're going to get through quite nicely and see the appeal of a no death run attempt. It's a fun game. It's not long enough, in my opinion. I would have preferred it to be at least 2 more levels and 1 extra boss. But that being said, I'm going to give it at least a 4 out of 5. It's a fun little game. It's a fun experience, and much better than I was expecting. Okay, so it's that little kid with the bow and arrow from the TV show. I kick his ass real nice. The bosses are all quite easy in this game. Gator and Axel is about the only hard one, but when you learn a comfortable pattern, you'll get through those 2 as well quite easily. Stage 3, the caverns. We were just in the jungle. Now we're in stage 3, the caverns. And it's gonna look like shit, I apologize. Even more shit. I don't know why. I suppose it's the way my camera lets in light, but dark levels just look horrendous. Now, the pit that's in here are lava, and the lava is an insta-kill. Could have just been an empty pit, but at least they included some graphics to show some lava. I like to take the high route. There's many ways to traverse the caverns, and there's a lot of wrong ways you can go. But I just found a way that worked and stuck with that. See, even the invincibility music is more entertaining than the Genesis version. God, that looks terrible though. That's very disappointed me when I saw how that captured. Because as long as levels are bright and vibrant, my phone captures it pretty well. And after I'm done cropping it and adjusting the brightness, it usually comes up looking very watchable. This is borderline unwatchable, but we only got one more level and one boss of this darkness. Is what it is. What do you want? It's like you can see it trying to focus, but it just, for some reason, can't. Oh well, one day I'll get a capture card. Or maybe I won't. Maybe it'll be 2030 and you guys will still know Alpha Nerd. The cell phone recording son of a bitch. I tell you, Twin Galaxies can appreciate that. It's a very authentic way to play. Okay, oh yeah, this level took me a little bit to figure out the first time. It just, again, you can go many different ways, and some of them don't result in the correct ways. And unlike the Genesis version, there are very few leap of faith. Nice little secret there. It decides to focus for some reason. But this game, yeah, it doesn't have near as many leap of faith and blind jumps. It has a couple, but not many. Not enough to even critique it. There's like 2 or 3 blind jumps. I don't know if the same people worked on this game, but you know, this one's much more appealing to the average gamer. Like, I love Tazmania for the Genesis. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure, and I totally get why people don't like it.
No, that's okay.
But this one is something most people would enjoy. So I fell back down. I have to repeat this. It's unfortunate. It'll cost me time. But again, I wasn't playing with the incentive to be fast. From what I understand, there's only 3 people on a leaderboard, and I've beaten 3rd place. So, hey, I beat someone. I haven't submitted the run yet, but I will. Why not? Hey, it's 3rd place, and I beat 1 person. It's better than nothing, I guess. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
So we're at Gator and Axel now. It is my favorite boss fight in the game.
Definitely slowed us down a bunch, but hey, we survived.
Jamie and Steve. I'm kind of tired. I gotta make some dinner. Yeah, this is one of those ones. He can kill you actually really easily if you're aggressive and you don't pay attention and wait for the patterns. Really simple when you just take your time though. I was a little bit disappointed. I think I'm fighting Axel right now. And after I defeated him, I figured I was going to have to fight Gator as well. But you don't. He just runs out, I guess, picks him up and runs away. Yeah. Grabs his buddy and hightails out of there. So if I remember correctly, we have 2 more worlds left. Now, all the levels, now we're in the ruins, all resemble the same levels that are in the Genesis game. Just again, designed completely different. My favorite song in the game. It's a good song. It's kind of fast, a little bit upbeat, has a bit of sense of urgency to it as well, which is interesting. I guess it's not the last level. It should have been the last level's music, but... It's just so amazing how this game got music and the Genesis version didn't. Now, seeing as it's Looney Tunes, music isn't overly necessary if you're going to try to keep it, you know, like, you know, the show, so to speak, but game is covered with turkeys. Yeah, your deaths don't really come by damage in this game. It could, but you can take a beating, and in fact, I almost die on, I think, the next level from taking damage, and I don't. I was shocked that I had a sliver of health left, but again, this game is all about surviving its extreme amount of pit deaths. Taz is a bit of a beast, you could say, and 1 or 2 turkeys go quite a long way. Spin past those. It's a sneaky little pit death here. There's a leap of faith right there, because if you just walk off, you're going to walk off into that pit. I knew about that, so I spun right off. There we go. And done. I need a coffee. That's what I need. Back-to-back commentary. No death run life is exhausting me. But yeah, I got 2 hard ones I wanna get around to. I won't say what they are. Well, what the hell. Rolling Thunder 2 and Castlevania 3. Those are 2 of the more difficult NDRs I do want to add to my NDR list, and ones that will challenge me and take more time, unlike these more quantity over quality NDRs. Nothing wrong with having fun and doing an original NDR. One thing I've always enjoyed about doing certain NDRs are they're original to my channel and the community. That's always something I really enjoy. Sega games, specifically Genesis, but you know, I've grown to like the Master System quite a bit as well. It doesn't get the love it deserves. So when I can do an original NDR on a console that's less played, there is that satisfaction of doing something unique and fresh, opposed to, say, doing Castlevania 3, which has been done by many people very well, and there's nothing fresh or original about that. However, I do really like that game, and I do need more of a quality NDR to add to the list. Likewise with Rolling Thunder 2, something I put off. That game is probably going to be harder than Castlevania 3, and there's a reason I put that off as long as I have. It's a great game. But yeah, so two hard NDRs on the horizon in the next month or 2 or 3. It's all a matter of finding
what
time.
The hell?
And that's one thing I do enjoy about games like this is they don't require as much time. And to some degree that can be quite nice. I played this game literally for the first time last night. I beat it once, I beat it twice, and then I attempted some NDRs, and after about 5 resets from pit deaths, I got the NDR. I got it pretty quickly, pretty easily. A lot easier than I did with Submarine Attack. Much faster, much easier. But different kind of games, right? One's a shooter, another one's a platform. But to think, yeah, I never played this game for a minute of my life until like 12 hours ago. And I beat it 3 times, and I was like, alright, well, here I almost died. Look at my health. I have to guess which one.
Fuck, I don't remember where to be.
I picked the wrong one. On spikes.
Whoa.
So lucky. So
lucky.
I have a sliver of health. But again, I mentioned how generous this game is with the amount of hits Taz can take. He's a beast.
I'll take it.
And yeah, it's avoid the pits. And don't fuck up too much on the bosses as we face these weird witches. That if you get them in rhythm, you can really land your shots nice like that. 1, 2. Now you see that bottom one shot early and completely screwed me up. But 1, 2. The final boss is the same as the Genesis game. The big, I don't know, white bird. I don't know if it's a wandering albatross or an extinct giant bird, but it does resemble a wandering albatross by appearance and size. Because the quest is the same. You're going after that delicious giant egg that hungry Taz desires so much. See, the boss music's alright. Now the music in the next level is pretty funny. It's pretty terrible, It's bad, but I tell you, after about, 3 or 4 playthroughs, Stage 5, The Valley, its crappy music really grew on me. It's funny. It's so bad it's good. You're playing Tazmania, buddy. Tazmania, buddy. You are playing Tazmania, buddy. Tazmania, buddy. You are playing Tazmania, buddy. Those are my words for the song. I doubt when I do the picture-in-picture, I'll link it up perfectly. In my head right now, I'm singing it perfectly. You are playing Tazmania, buddy. So stupid. Like I said, when I first heard this, I was like, oh man, that's bad. But it grew on me. It grew on me. Some tricky platforming here. Now, it's not unfair either. The slopes will make you slide, but it'll never slide you right off. It'll slide you right to the end. The quicker you realize that, the better off you are. So if you allow it to make you panic, you'll slide and do something silly, and then you'll cause your own death. So as cheap as it might feel, it's actually not. Like, they had enough heart to make you slide, but not push you right off the edge. Definitely pit level mania on these last 2 levels. The whole game is just riddled with endless pits. Tazmania, buddy. You are playing Tazmania, buddy. So we got some familiar enemies in this level from the Genesis game, which I like seeing. You got the rock guys and those weird little bouncing squid things. Tazmania, buddy. You are playing Tazmania, buddy. This will be the new popular song that everyone grows to love. Music is now a 5 out of 5. It's so bad. It just endlessly repeats. It's definitely very tinny, and it is hard on the ears, but man, did it grow on me. It went from my first time hearing it to being like plugging my ears to loving the Tazmania, buddy. You are playing Tazmania, buddy. So stupid. Love the way this level looks though. I love its graphics. Again, the backgrounds really lack detail in this game, but the foreground is some really nice looking stuff. Like, again, the water could have some shimmering and some movement, would have went a long way, but I imagine a lot of games like this had a pretty small budget, and we're just, kind of more like, get it out. Work hard on the Genesis one, fuck that up completely, though I love it, and just get this out for, some of the people who still have Master System in, say, Europe and Brazil and over in Japan. Because, again, the Master System wasn't really that big of a deal here in North America, especially in 1992, let's be real. Everyone had Super Nintendos and Sega Genesis in 1992. I already had a Sega CD in 92, so it's like, the timeline on this game, they probably weren't given a huge amount of time to work on it. They weren't given much of a budget, and that's something I do often consider when playing certain games where I don't completely rip them apart. And if you picture yourself being on their team working on the game, they probably did a pretty awesome job in the very short window they had. As we complete the last level here, and it's been end boss hype time. Tazmania, buddy! You are playing Tazmania, buddy! That's sadly the last time we'll hear that incredible song. Now, the end boss music has its own separate music. That's kind of cool. I take my time with this. He's pretty easy. Yeah, he's pretty easy. you can mistime some of your spins and take unnecessary hits. But overall, pretty easy stuff. So guys, thanks for watching my No Death Run of Tazmania for the Sega Master System. An unexpected fun game that I do recommend to you because I think you will enjoy this a lot more than the Genesis version. Now that is for people who hate the Genesis version. And there's a lot of you. There's a lot of you. But those of you who love Tazmania for the Genesis, it's more what you love. I love that. I love more what you love. So I tried out Echo for the Master System. That just seems terrible. But this is fun. I had a really good time with this, and I could see myself trying to speed run this quicker, to be a good 4 or 5 minutes quicker just for fun. As it stands, I'm third place. If I was 5 minutes quicker, I'd still be third place. So I probably won't. But if someone were to edge out my third spot, I might be inclined to defend that and speed up my run by a handful of minutes because it's a fun game, and I always enjoy excuses to revisit games because one thing I don't love is playing and moving on.
Alright, there we go. No Death Run of Tazmania for the Sega Master System. This is a very fun game, and for those of you who hate the Genesis version, y'all know I love it. I would say this is a game that's going to be more appealing to all the people that dislike the Genesis game. This game's controls are definitely better. Its level design is definitely more user-friendly, to say the least. There is definitely far less.
I already said all this, gaming Steve.
And pretty straightforward platforming.
Said it all.
It is an endless.
Talk to you later, guys. Thanks for watching.
Barrage of pitfalls. But when the controls are good and the level design is fair, I think it makes for a pretty engaging, fun playthrough. This one's very surprising to me. I know this is the more popular Tazmania of the two. I still much prefer the Genesis version because it's harder. This is a fairly easy game if you take your time. So those of you who are defensive and don't mind inching your way forward or slowly progressing, it's going to be a very fun No Death Run. I had a lot of fun with this. I did it in around 10 attempts. Some of them were short, some of them were long. But man, this is a fun game. I really enjoyed this. I'm just a big fan of Looney Tunes as well. But hey, that is the end. And thanks for watching.